All right, good morning, people. Just trying to get out as much revelation as I can about past, present, future. So I've been caught up to the third heaven thousands of times, and and Jesus says when I'm up there, I'm in eternal time. I'm no longer in temporal time because the timeline fell. And I did timeline videos where, okay, when the timeline was corrupted, it's like you have three lines that fell, and Jesus, it was cut, and then Jesus tied it back together. That's where they're grafted in. So when I'm in the third heaven, I'm in the timeline, eternal timeline with him. Okay, and then when I come back here, I'm in a fallen, broken temporal timeline because everything here is temporal because of fall. So when Jesus corrects it through our belief and our engagement with him, this timeline will correct. So one way to explain it, like as we talked about in the past, is Groundhog Day, then one day we'll wake up and everything will be changed. We'll wake up and everything will be changed. Like today, the sky is blue and little puffy clouds. It doesn't look like too many chemtrails. So, and it's hard to even imaged it, that things will change because we've been in the fallen nature for so long. The liar has ruled since Genesis chapter 3, and the liar will be done away with. So when I go to the third heaven, I get the truth, the way, the truth, and life from him in order to bring it back here and speak it out on earth as in heaven. So thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth, on earth as in heaven. So a thousandth time being caught up, just like Paul was, in order to bring back the revelation. Now, to go really deep, pretty far out, is you only exist in such a time as this, which means the present time. Your existence and what you do in this present time is everything, because the future is not here and the past is in the past. So, when Jesus split time, we call this date, time and date 2023. You split time because of counterclockwise time turned into forward time, but then we're not moving forward spiritually until this time and date. So 2020, 2023, we're going into 21 years that Michael has been warring on our behalf majorly for many people. For many people, we're going in the 21st year, approximately August of this year. Now, we don't wait till then, because every time you say Jesus is going to do this or going to do that, you push time back farther into the future and you're keeping it from coming. Now, in the Bible, it says we must hasten the day of the Lord's coming, which means hurry up. Hurry up the day of the Lord's coming. So in this present time, present in the present time to become what he says we are, everything we interject into the time at the moment of time right now affects past, present, and future, just as Jesus affected the past, present, and future. And to be like him is to agree with him and believe in him. And I didn't understand when they said Jesus is everything, Jesus is all you need. I didn't understand what that saying meant. Like, what do you mean Jesus is all you need? So now the uncovering, the unveiling of the gates of hell, and to close the gates of hell for heaven to open up. Now, heaven don't need portals, don't need gates. It can open up as big and wide as he wants because it's all spiritual. Whoops. And then the enemy has made all these gates of hell, I told you, through blood covenants contracts. So now we've uncovered much for us to move forward. And you got to be ready right now, a moment's notice, which means in this moment, in the present time, as he is the gift in us. We give our lives back to him, so we give ourselves to him, which is a gift to him, a gift to us. So us and him, him and us. All right. So as we do this from here on out, the meek shall inherit the earth. And we don't have to wait any longer, because if you don't do what you need to do today, pray right now while it is day, in order to help usher the kingdom come that will be done. Now, if I don't speak, if the preachers don't speak, if the prophets don't speak, and in times past, the prophets were given the mysteries of the revelation of God and the revelation of Jesus Christ. Now, then in the church age, it was also given to the apostles to know and understand the mysteries in order to help teach the people how to enter in, intercede, and how to enter in. And everything that we do is all through the heart-to-heart connection and prayers. So we must speak, we must pray, we must prophesy, we must change the day. And then very soon the day will change. All days will change, because this timeline, a corrupt timeline, will be rectified, because all the liars that speak out in the airwaves, principalities of the airs, all liars will be taken down. The television will be telling the right vision. The radio waves, on the radio waves and everywhere, they'll be telling the right visions in order to stand in this time, stand in the gap in this time for many billions of people. And so then in another note, it says Satan gets a third. I don't wish that, wouldn't want to wish that. But people don't really have the choice if you don't tell them what saith the Lord. If you don't explain to them about, becoming Satan's sinner or God's man or woman of God, to be a part of God's family. If you don't tell them and explain it to them, and then the simplicity is, Satan's the sin that lies and causes people to become sinners. And that revelation alone should blow up the gates of hell. But the gates of hell are really just being closed up because of blood covenants. As we pray and declare over the properties, we're releasing the satanic murder, death, jurisdiction of the devils in the area. And then, of course, now I'm out here in sun is shining, the sky is blue, and you hear all the sirens. So it's God's 911. It's Jesus' 911. The urgency to do the work of the Lord today, while it's still day, right now, while it's still present time, to change the past and the future. So what you see, speaking of the present time, we know changes the future, but you don't understand what you need to understand now, that you also change the past. And the present time is all you have to live in, and the present time is all you have. So if you're worried about things, you're in the future worrying. If you think of kicking your butt for all the past, then you're stuck in the past. It's hard to walk out in the present time because we're taught to worry, to fret, to frustrate ourselves and other people. But in him, the Prince of Peace, through him, everything will change, and everything's changing right now. But like I said, every time somebody's speaking on television for Jesus and says, God's about to do this, God's about to do that, you're pushing it back in the future. So no matter how I portray it, just remember, in the present time, you must believe it in the present time. Otherwise, it'll never change the future or the past. So God is erasing the sins of your past. So in Genesis 41:51, Manasseh was born, which is the name, the sign, the name of the time that he erases all the past and sends you into new beginnings. Now, people say new beginnings, but they don't explain in detail what are new beginnings. Well, new beginnings is where he takes all the troubles of your past. So all of Joseph's troubles, he was thrown in the well, he's taken out of the well, he's sold into slavery, then he goes to the dungeon, then eventually he ends up in the throne room running the whole kingdom with God, being Lord over the kingdom, even though Pharaoh was still there. So all pharaohs are being done away with, all the liars are being done away with. And in some sense, I understand it's almost hard to imagine this to change. And you have to do it every day. Pray, reclaim, re-speak. Pray the kingdom come, the will be done. and know that it is changing right now, but it won't change unless you pray. So when Bruce made the Jabez prayer, and a lot of people who have that reread that, and that was the primer prayer to get everybody praying the Lord's Prayer. It was a primer prayer, and they tell the story of Jabez where he didn't want to cause pain, and that you would bless me indeed, O Lord. Indeed, in and out of deed. Indeed, O Lord. And then people got excited because this lowly guy named Jabez, which means pain, that he did exactly the opposite of what his name was, because God would not want to cause pain and sickness and death. That's what the enemy has caused. Now we have to release the blood covenants by going out and praying. And we talked about, the crosses, the small crosses that I have that made out of the 1/8-inch tile spacers. I look at that video where it has the pictures of the 3 crosses. Now it's streamlined to where you can go out and take back territory exponentially. Because back in the day I said, we had post-hole diggers and we made crosses that were too big. So we had to dig deep holes in order to do the 4 corners of property to set up a foundation of blessings and remove the curses of murder and death. And of course, I had to repeat a lot because we got to hammer it in like a jackhammer to where the last plague was death, and death passed over when they put the blood on the doorpost. Now his blood is coursing through our veins, so we are living sacrifices in this time, no longer agreeing with sin that causes sickness, causes death, to release what he said to release. So if you can imagine, okay, go out and pray and go out and declare. You can take a lot of territory really quickly and easily because we've streamlined the revelation of removing the curses from the land. And the curses cause gates of hell, causes demons to stand on the street corner. And I told you there's no accident. So somebody gets murdered on the street corner through a car accident. The world says car accident, but no, it's actually murder. So there's no coincidences. So everything you do, there's no coincidences. Everything that made you who you are, there's no coincidences in this time. So, but for God to catapult you, launch you now, okay, and you have to say that 1,000 more times because that's already in the past. So you got to reclaim, and like I said, a great movie, the Groundhog Day movie, he finally had to live a good day in order for the day to finally change. So we're in the 3rd day, the 3rd millennial, the blessed day. It's going to turn back into the Garden of Eden. And we talked about, the 14-foot dandelion and everything being back into fruition in this time. So I'll cue this one up. It's there's a lot of noise out here, so I'll go back. Like I say, we have to go back and rehash it, redo it, reclaim it, repray it in order for it to manifest. In order for foundations of heaven to become foundations of earth, and you reread that and the 7th trumpet. Now, a lot of people don't understand the Brunson brothers are 4 trumpets, and Trump is 3 trumpets. So he was in office. He's still in office behind the scenes. He'll come back in, and he's not changing, and everything will change. He's 3 trumps no matter how you believe it. But it's an affirmation, confirmation that we're in the 7th trump. So the kingdom of heaven has become the kingdom of earth. The kingdom of earth has become the kingdom of heaven, the 7th trumpet. Okay? God bless.